Hello everyone and welcome to Rob's Rogues, and today we're taking a look at a figure that most of you probably know who and what this is. I have been dying to get a hold of this figure, and this was a figure I thought, oh, it'd be great if Mattel would make one of these in the new 52, but I thought, oh, it's going to be such a long way off if they get around to it. So this is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive 2013. The Signature Collection, Matty Collector exclusive Shazam in the new 52, and here's a picture of Billy Batson getting ready to say Shah. Of course, Shazam will be on the inside, kind of like the mailer box on the outside here. Would normally be white. A good friend, ODC, that's me, if you've seen my most recent unboxing video, he sent this to me. They went on sale for the Infinite Club on Earth subscribers. Man, that title is so long, I never get it right. He's a member, so he had exclusive access to it. Something happened with him trying to order it, then the day for the, I guess, the general public to go on sale, he tried again for me. Since I work first shift, I wasn't able to, be at home, and my breaks at work, weren't going to line up to be able to try and get on. So he ever so kindly picked this up for me. So Anthony, thank you, thank you, thank you. I've been dying to get a hold of this guy. And it's in like the typical Mattel mailer pouch box. Now, this is the first signature figure I've ever owned. I would love to get a hold of Black Mask, and there's a whole subscription thing that we talked about in one of our last or our very first the Rogues show. If you go back and you can kind of look at Olivia, Anthony, and myself talk about it. But to have this in my hand is just really cool, and it's bittersweet that I don't know how many more of these are going to be out, but man, I thought he looked really cool just when Anthony reviewed him and some other people, but I like this box a lot. And yes, the hood, and let's get a little extra light in here. So everybody's got their opinions about the hood, and just looking at it like this and watching other people's reviews, yeah, it's kind of doofy looking. I have a figure I'll show you how Mattel did a hood pretty close to being the right way, and then they did this, but yeah, we'll save that for there. Just the look of Shazam's outfit, it's kind of throughout the box, and just really, really cool. Really nice artwork. That's one thing that on a lot of people's channels that I've been watching when they've been doing the signature collection is that the artwork looks really, really cool. This is a box I'm definitely going to keep. I've been keeping a lot of the boxes of figures that I have, but when it's the traditional box that you have to tear open, it's like I'm not going to put it back in the box, but this will be a box that'll be just, nice to have in case I ever want to pack it up. There's the Matty Collector information, We'll see what they're going to do next. And of course, like I always try to point out, there is their 1-800 number. You ever have any problems with your figures, call them. They generally try to make it right with vouchers and all that stuff. I've explained it a lot before. Some people read this, some people don't. I'm going to read it. It says, magically transported from a subway car to the mystical Rock of Eternity, troubled foster kid Billy Batson met an immortal wizard who granted him the magical powers and responsibilities. By uttering the word Shazam, Billy Batson is magically transformed from a boy into the adult hero Shazam. Keep it in frame, Rob. Billy's magically transformed the boy to the adult hero Shazam, the world's mightiest mortal. With the power of living lightning and strength of a demigod, as well as superhuman speed and flight, Shazam is the only thing standing between our world and the mystical threats that are out to destroy it. Real name, Billy Batson Shazam. It's really odd trying to keep this all in frame here as I'm trying to actually read the box itself and not look in the viewfinder, so I apologize if it was kind of half out. Like I said, some people read them, I don't. They say, okay, we'll pause the camera if you don't want to hear or read it. So enough talking and rambling. I'm so eager to get this out and do comparisons and then look at all of the Mattel New 52 figures finally together. We will be right back. All right. right, here is Shazam out of packaging. I really like this figure a lot. He was one that I was definitely looking forward to. Yes, the hood. I know everybody comments on the hood. It could have and should have been a lot better. I mean, I like what Mattel was trying to do by giving us a hood. I've got another figure here off to the side that I will show how I think Mattel did a hood correctly. This is not it. Yes, they gave us the ability to be able to remove the hood, but I mean, from here, it's not so bad. You know, they could have done it where like the DC Direct did for Damien, where they've just had it sculpted into the cape, where, you know, the hood never came up, but it's just to show you that it was there. But it's so high up. I mean, the hood should have been like way down, but I mean, you could clearly see into his head. So I think for everybody, this just comes right off. Most everybody that I know that has this figure, trying to make sure I get some light here properly, that has this figure pretty much is going to pose him without the hood. So I mean, this is how he's going to go on my shelf. I really like the look of this figure. I do have a little bit of a blemish on the side of his cheek, just a little probably paint smudge. From farther away, you really don't notice it so much. I like the eyes, the blue of the eyes. I know some people were kind of like, I'm not so sure, but I like it. It's just a little bit different. It's kind of showing him that he's kind of powering up, and his eyes match the blue into the lightning bolt there. So I think that's another nice little touch. The sculpting, where the lines should be, they're just painted on. ODC has talked about it. I think Pixel Dan has also talked about it as well. This being the signature series, and be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. I mean, they did a lot of extra tooling on Shazam and his belt, his boots. It's just that one other little thing that they should have done, since all the other New 52 figures have sculpted lines in and around the figure, that these are just painted. I mean, they're painted very well. They're straight, which is really kind of surprising for Mattel sometimes with their paint applications. But these few lines should have been sculpted in. But aside from that, I really, really like this figure. He is probably one of my favorites of the New 52 looks from Mattel. And it's kind of fitting that probably, say that word correctly, my last New 52 figure from Mattel is going to be Shazam. Shazam is right up there with Robin for me. It goes Robin, then Shazam are two of my favorite DC characters. I like the cape. It's a soft, pliable cape, much like all the other capes from the DCUC line. You can see I do have a little bit of a gold smear in there, or actually, right there it is. That was just dirt. There's the gold dot. And there's the little dot that I have on my cape. It's not too bad. It's come sometimes with Mattel. You're just kind of expecting that, especially when you have something white. Granted, I think the QC control could have been a little bit better on Mattel throughout this whole entire time. Some figures are almost perfect, and others do have a little bit, but it's kind of par for the course dealing with Mattel. And I think some of us just come to know that there's going to be some minor flaw somewhere in it. Like, again, I've talked about the sculpting. Probably should have been there. But standing on the shelf, you can tell that there is a definition in the suit. So, you know, I'm okay with that. Being a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, I think that all the tooling should have been done into the figure. But I guess that's neither here nor there. I'm glad to just have Shazam. Anyway, let's get on to the articulation. The articulation is pretty standard with exception for one feature on Shazam. It's all standard DC-UC articulation, but we'll go over it anyway. The head is on a nice little ball joint. He doesn't get a whole lot of good range of motion, being able to look up and down. I'm kind of blocking the light there. So he hardly moves at all up and down, but you'll have that, I guess, from time to time, as I accidentally kicked my light off there. So, but the head does turn around full 360. He could. His chin kind of gets in the way of the, or the collar kind of gets in the way of his chin being able to turn. His Shoulders are a nice little ball joint, ball and socket. Turn at the bicep, elbow, and he does have wrist articulation. I was kind of curious how the lightning bolt here was going to work, or the thunderbolt, as some people say, but lightning bolt, if it was going to get in the way of the ab crunch, and it really doesn't. He can go back decently far, but it's not stopping the ab crunch. It just doesn't move very well going down, at least on my figure. The legs go forward and back. Forward, it's kind of stopped, I think, up here at the hip a little bit. Has the Jean-Claude Van Damme's sidekick T-joint. Bend at the, turn at the thigh. Bent single joint at the knee. No boot articulation, but does have the nice tiptoes if you want to get him into a flight position. Some people will pose them, so looks like his toes are down. Now, I did skip over one. He does turn at the waist, but he doesn't turn at the waist like a normal DCUC figure that you would have it right here. He actually turns below his belt, which is kind of cool, a little bit different. I think maybe it's just the way the belt is made, that it's down a little bit and it's covering where it normally would turn. So I don't think it's... I think he does normally turn at the waist where he should, but the belt gives the impression that it's a little farther down. So I thought that was kind of cool, just a little bit different in the turn, but I do actually think it's the same turn at the waist. The belt just appears to be a little bit lower on the figure. Overall, I really like this figure. It would have been cool to be able to get him in the stores. Again, ODC hooked me up. Thank you very, very much, my friend, for sending me this guy. Like I had said, he picked him up for me when he went on sale to the general public. He actually tried to get him twice, or one other previous time, and had a problem with his internet and yada yada. You'll have that. Now, he doesn't come with any other accessories other than the hood. Something I did want to show that I have seen some other people do is if you have the flash from the new 52 or the white lantern flash, you get these little bolts. They look a little different with the flash, but having them on Shazam, I think it does work a little bit better. Now, I've seen some people put this one on. I'm not sure exactly how they were doing it. Maybe they just kind of held it on there. But I think it's kind of cool looking. So, again, these are the flashes from the new 52 from Mattel, from the Unlimited line. But I think that's pretty cool. It kind of makes him stand out just a little bit more. So if you have the white lantern flash of a new 52 flash, if you don't use them on the flash, you might want to try them on Shazam himself as that kind of falls. I haven't got it tucked down, but thought that was a neat little thing that I've seen people do online. I kind of wanted to be able to see for myself how it looks, and I like it. So I think it might be something that if I'm posing my figures, I might keep him with those on. Okay, here we are with the DC Universe Classics. I'm not sure what wave this one was from originally. I got him from the Toys R Us kind of exclusive with Black Adam. So that's my 2-pack that I have. So anyway, here's the Classic with the new 52. I think I've said before, for me, I've always thought his name was Shazam growing up as a kid. I had a Superpowers figure that was Shazam, and once I got a little bit older, started reading comics and started going, Captain Marvel? Well, that just sounds weird. He's a DC character, and they're calling him Captain Marvel, so I get why DC ended up changing the name, and I just always thought that was really cool that he was called Shazam. That's what he says when he turns into Shazam, and a friend of mine says, well, yeah, anytime somebody says, thank you for saving me, sir. What's your name? And he says, Shazam. Well, great. Now he turns into Billy Baston. I think with it being magic, and this is just me, that it's in how you say the name. So I think he would be able to say his name Shazam, and his first meeting was the Justice League. Well, what do you call it? He says, oh, I'm Shazam. And then I think if he wants to change, he would say it a little differently. That's how I view it. I like the updated look of Shazam, or Captain Marvel. You can see where they pulled the references from. You know, the gauntlets are still there and the belt going around. Granted, I think there's supposed to be a sash on the figure, but Mattel never made one. The old kind of boots, I'm glad that they're updated. These look more like a Pharaoh type of a boot. Even the little clasp there, now that there's two, there is two on this one. Actually, there's not, just the one here. And the gold trim going around the cape. Gone are these little marks off of this Shazam. But it's something I never liked about this character, even in the comics, this version, is his little Red Riding Hood cape. I kind of got over that his cape was turned to the side. I'm glad that it's straight on now. I think it's cool that he can wear a hood, but I never liked that little teeny tiny cape. Even the Robin figure from Arkham City they made has this little tiny cape. I'm like, you might as well be wearing a tablecloth. So I'm glad in the new 52 they gave him a nice long flowing cape, or I guess more like a cloak like the Wizard would have worn. So I like it, and I'm one of these people, I'm probably going to get some people going boo. I like this version better than this one. As big of a fan of Shazam as I am, now seeing this one in the new 52, I was like, yes, it's new, it's fresh. It's not so totally crazy that you go, I can't even tell who it is. You can tell that that's Captain Marvel. They just darkened his suit down a little bit and just enhanced it. I think the heroes kind of need a little change and a little tweaking over the years. This seems very dated, and I get that people like that it's a golden era of superheroes. But to me, I think this works more for the modern time. I just wanted to be able to show you the two. I have seen some people do some customizing where they've swapped the two heads, or basically put the smiling face on this body. It does change it a little bit, but I like more of the serious, I'm going to shove a lightning bolt up your if you get in my way. So wanted to be able to show you that there. All right, here we are with my Arkham City Batman Legacy Robin figure from the Robin and Joker 2-pack. And I was talking about the hoods, and as you can tell, this Robin figure has a hood, if I get him in frame here, made by Mattel, and Mattel can pull off the hood pretty good. It would have been kind of cool to see this hood kind of on a Shazam. Now granted, this Robin hood doesn't doesn't come off, but if they would have made it kind of in the same way, he could have kept the hood on the whole time, and the head does turn and does have full range of motion. So I know what they were trying to do by giving us a figure that you could take the hood off of, but this just looks so silly. So I wanted to be able to show a reference to people that say, oh, Mattel can't do a hood. Yeah, they can, and they pulled the Robin one off very good. So any customizers out there maybe could, you know, put a hood like this on maybe this Shazam. It's really kind of sculpted for this Robin, but I think you get what I'm trying to say. I just wanted to be able to show you a hooded Mattel figure. And I think this actually hooded Mattel figure looks better than the DC Collectibles Robin. I'm just kind of pointing that out. Alright, here we are. Here are all of my new 52 Justice League or Unlimited figures that I have. The only one I'm missing is Darkseid, and I'm not planning on getting that Darkseid at all, since I have the DC Collectibles Darkseid, and he is such a mammoth figure, and he's as big as he should be, and I know Mattel wasn't going to make one as big as the DC Collectibles, but I think they should have at least made him the size of the Collect and Connect Darkseid that they already had, since they established him as being that tall in their line. How cool would it have been to pick, you know, 7 of these figures, maybe exclude Shazam, or maybe include Shazam and not Batgirl, and giving a piece of the Collect and Connect to all of them. That would have been kind of hard to do a Collect and Connect piece with Shazam, since he was a Comic-Con exclusive, or they could have just made him a retail figure, but I thought that would have been something really cool to have at least one last Collect and Connect figure and have it in the Unlimited line of figures. Like I said, I'm really happy with all of these figures and all of my Mattel figures to begin with. I wasn't sure how far the Unlimited line was going to go, and now that we know the line is officially canceled both for Batman and the DC Comics Unlimited, I'm not entirely too sure if the Unlimited line is officially canceled yet. For the Batman, because the Arkham Origins 6-inch figures are still supposed to come out. Maybe it'll be under the Mattel movie banner line or video game line, whatever that's going to be. But neither here nor there. Here are the figures that I have. I like all of them. There's some really good figures here, and then there's some, okay figures. The favorites for me, I'm not just saying Shazam because, I just got him and I'm kind of fawning over him and he's a favorite character of mine. He is. I really do like him, aside from not having the sculpting lines, and now that I'm kind of looking at the Flash's lines are painted on. So aside from Superman, Wonder Woman, well, actually almost everybody, Hawkman doesn't have any painted sculpting lines, and neither does Aquaman. But Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, and Batgirl all have the sculpting like etched into the figure. The Flash is painted, and Hawkman really doesn't, and Aquaman does have a textured outfit. But Shazam and Batman are two of my favorites. I really like this Batman. It's a fresh, new-ish figure. New head, new gauntlets, new boots, new belt, new bat emblem, new cape. Yes, he does use the standard buck body, but the ab crunch is just a little bit different. So there's enough differences in this Batman that really make this kind of one of my favorite Batmans. I do have the shiny ass Batman, as Chapman Films would say. I bought that one. I originally wasn't going to buy the shiny one because I had this one and I really prefer this one. But I thought, well, this one's going to stay with my Justice League, and I'll buy the shiny one to go with the Damian figure that Mattel is going to release. Wah, wah, wah. Now we know that's probably not going to happen. So, another figure that I really like is the Wonder Woman figure. She's one of my favorites, and my favorite Wonder Woman only really because I don't have the DC UC Wonder Woman, but I think if I did, I would still prefer this one better. That's just me. That's my take on it. Hawkman is another really, really good figure. I think he was kind of the sleeper figure in this line. Some people were kind of quick to dismiss it. Yes, he's got some wonky eyes, but I really do like this Hawkman, and I almost bought the DC Universe Classics Hawkman, and I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I waited for this one because I really like it. Yes, it's almost the same, but the new head sculpt and the gauntlets are different, and his boots are a lot better, so I really think this is the better Hawkman. Batgirl is a fantastic figure. She's kind of the superhero's Batgirl, but there's a lot of tooling gone into this Batgirl that really makes her a standout, and she's a little bit shorter than her superhero's Batgirl. She's got a new head, maybe not the new face, but she has shorter ears and her hair is different. But there's enough on this Batgirl that I think warrants a pickup. The Aquaman figure is really starting to grow on me. At first I was kind of like, in my review of him I was really kind of saying I really like it, just because I had the other Aquaman, the 2-pack with the Black Manta, the gold Aquaman, for a while. So this one is quickly becoming a favorite of mine. The Flash is okay. I'm not really crazy on all of the extra lightning that's painted on him. I get what they were doing. It's kind of warming up on me. The Flash does have some sculpting in and around his head, but other than that, in his boots, he's basically just painted on the suit markings. And sadly, the figure that probably should be the granddaddy of them all is Superman. I don't know what it is. There's just something odd about this Superman that he could have been a really, really good figure. I just don't think it was executed very well. This is from the All-Star line that kind of ended the Classics line before going in to the Unlimited line. I have kind of thought about picking up the Unlimited Superman only because the All-Stars really suffers from the loose abs. loose ab syndrome, again, that what Chapman Films would say. So right now this Superman is cooperating, and he is standing pretty good. You can't tell, but he is arched back just ever so slightly. It's kind of funny that this is the Justice League for Mattel. I do have this Green Lantern. There is an all-star Green Lantern that doesn't have, he's metallic, that his trunks here are all painted black and it kind of V's down. Some people are using the metallic one as a new 52 Green Lantern, that it's really pretty close to how he looks. So, you know, if you get this one kind of up and in, if I could find a home for him somewhere, everybody's kind of all in there, it's really kind of negligible that, you know, he doesn't look exactly right, but you could use the other other metallic Green Lantern to kind of put in and have your new 52 Green Lantern. And then we never got a Cyborg from the line, so I slip this Cyborg in kind of around the back row, even though this is the Teen Titans Cyborg. This is close to a Mattel Cyborg that we're going to get that could kind of represent the new 52 in Mattel form. So suspension of disbelief, I end up throwing this Cyborg in there along with this Green Lantern that I have to kind of round out my Justice League-ish collection. But this would be an interesting Justice League, having Shazam and Batgirl, more importantly, and Hawkman in with the traditional, you know, Trinity and Aquaman there. So I think this is a pretty cool. I'm happy with it. It's kind of sad that it's that it ends like this. It's like having that wonderful relationship with your girlfriend, and it's just been roses and wine and whining and dining. It's been fantastic, and then all of a sudden you break up and you go, wow, we just had this long relationship, and all of a sudden we break up over something. I'm not exactly sure why we broke up and why it ended the way it ended. But unfortunately, I think this is probably going to be one of the last figures, other than the Infinite Club line with, like, Huntress is just coming out. There's a couple other ones. So it'll be interesting to see what Mattel does. I've got one last thing to show you real quick. I know this video is long, but it's kind of my thoughts with the new 52 figures and everything, so bear with me just 1 second. Alright, here's the last thing I wanted to show real quick. I just kind of threw the figures up here. Some people have asked, you know, hey Rob, what does the Mattel figures, what do they look like, and the new 52 figures look like, and more importantly, with the DC Collectibles new 52 Darkseid, and here you go. It would have been really cool to see Mattel do a version of Darkseid like this. Now, I don't own the Collect and Connect Darkseid. I'm not even sure what wave that was. But like I said, I just threw this up really quick. I've got some figures kind of leaning on themselves, and but you can kind of see how they look. So if you're wanting to get a Darkseid for your new 52 figures and you've got the extra cash, and sometimes you can find them on eBay a little bit cheaper than the $80 to $90. You just kind of really got to watch. I do think it's worth every penny, and if you don't have any DC Collectibles figures and you're kind of wanting to get one, I think this is a really good one to have to be able to pose with your new 52 Justice League figures. So you're going to need a really big shelf to put Darkseid in, but he is well worth it. Although if you've been watching the channel long enough, you know that this Darkseid is up with my DC Collectibles, so I don't have a villain for my new 52 figures. They just kind of stand on my shelf and just look very heroic. So I just wanted to share this with you really quick. So, alright, we're back for some final thoughts here. Since this is primarily Shazam's video, I know somebody's going to say, this is a really long review, but I wanted to be able to show some comparisons of a couple other figures and bring the whole line together all at once. I'm very, very happy to own this figure. Thank you, OODC, for hooking me up. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. He is going to be like right up front in my collection, staying with my other Justice League members. I think this is a really good figure. There's a couple little things. Yes, the hood is really silly. It could have been sculpted just a little bit lower. just to kind of bring it down a little bit more. But I like what they were trying to do, and that's okay. Yes, there could have been a little bit more sculpting in and around the suit, but at least the lines are painted good. And being a Shazam fan, I am very, very happy to have this. You can find him on eBay. Granted, with him being a San Diego Comic-Con, the price is kind of going up, and you're not able to get it from Matty Collector right now. So just kind of watch. I don't think he's definitely not worth the $35, $40, which I'm kind of seeing him go. If you wait long enough, he's going to come down. The eBay sellers are going to relax, and you know, I think the price will come down a little bit. And some people do have it for right around $20, and I have seen a few people have it at the buy now feature, but he seems to go pretty quickly. I think he's a great addition, and a final addition for the new 52 Mattel figures. So hopefully you guys have liked this. I know it was a long review. I apologize about it, but that's something I kind of like to do. So I hear my phone, so as always, this is Rob for Rob's Rogue signing off, saying we will see you guys next time.